The Pitt Panthers have a new head coach. Robin Harmony will be announced as the next leader of the Pitt women's basketball team. Harmony, no stranger to the ACC. She is in the University of Miami Hall of Fame. Some of her numbers have not been touched by neither male nor female down in Coral Gables. But more importantly, she is a winner coming to Pitt after leading the College of Charleston to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, people who know how to win know culture is everything. So looking forward to her turning that program around.
She has over 350 wins under her belt, so being able to have someone that comes in that knows how to win is going to be huge.
You take a look at this Pitt program, they've struggled a little bit as of late, but given the fact that she has won at Lamar, she's run at the College of Charleston, you said before, right? Like, learning how to win breeds winning ways. What do you think that will do as far as getting fresh talent there into Pitt?
Absolutely. You want to win. Winners want to win. They're going to come to a program. Nobody wants to be a part of a losing season.
Well, with that, we'll get you out to Pittsburgh. Here is the new head coach.
Good afternoon. We're thrilled to be joined by so many loyal Panthers, both here inside the Petersen Events Center and those tuning in on ACC Network and online. Thank you to the media members in attendance today. A quick rundown of events. We'll begin with opening statements. After that, we'll proceed to questions from the media. When we get to that point, if you have a question, please raise your hand, and one of our staff members will bring you a microphone. Please state your name and outlet before your question. At this time, please welcome to the stage Athletic Director Alan Green and your new head women's basketball coach, Robin Harmony.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. Today, we have the great pleasure to introduce someone to this community who is going to make Pitt proud. Okay, my piece was only going to be about 4 minutes, but I think they're going to applaud after every sentence, so let's be prepared to be here for a while. But first, I'd like to take the time to recognize Robin's sister, Tony, and Robin's mother, Doris, who have joined us here for the celebration. For those of us who work in college athletics, we know that it takes a lot of people, it takes a village to pull off a search like this. And there are lots of people who worked hard behind the scenes. But I want to specifically recognize our Executive Associate Athletic Director and Senior Women Administrator, Jen Toscano. Where's Jen? There's Jen. Jen ran point on this search from start to finish. And the thoroughness of this process and the confidence that I have standing here today is a direct reflection of her effort. So Jen, thank you very much. When we began this search, we were clear-eyed about what we needed. We were looking for a builder, a sitting D1 head coach, one who preferably was competing in the NCAA tournament, by the way. Congratulations. Someone who had already been in the chair, someone who knew the weight of the role, and someone who had proven that they could build this inside out. We wanted someone with a demonstrated ability to connect with our student athletes, not just coach you, but to reach you. Someone who would embrace our alums, someone who would embrace this community, and someone who genuinely wanted to call Pittsburgh home. Robin checked every single box. And if any of you know of any houses in the area, Oakland area, she'd be more than willing to listen. Some of you may not know this, but you'll find this out very soon. Robin does not like attention. And if I were to sit up here and talk about her accolades, I'd probably get in trouble. Plus, many of you have already done your research. So it really doesn't make sense for me to talk about her Hall of Fame basketball career. Doesn't make sense for me to talk about her many championships as a head coach or her many coaching or coaches of the year awards. Simply put, Robin's accomplishments speak for themselves. In my short time in the Steel City, I've learned that our community responds to toughness. We respond to people who show up to work. We respond to people who earn what they get. That's Pittsburgh, and that's the standard we're setting for this program. I do want to be straightforward with you about what success looks like for Pitt women's basketball. We know that we don't have the most money, and we are not going to spend our way to competitiveness in the ACC. But our path is going to be identifying young women who will out-prepare, who will outwork, who will out-hustle, who will outsmart and out-toughness their opponents. When we find those players and develop them, the wins will follow. We want to compete for NCAA tournament berths. And it may not happen all at once. It may not happen in the first year or the second year or the third year. After I got past the third year, Robin stopped me and she's like, that's too far out. We got to shorten that time frame. She's a competitor. And we know that with her leadership, it's possible at Pitt. We know it's possible. It's possible when everyone embraces their role. And I'm not talking about our student athletes. I'm talking about all of us here and those who are watching and following from afar. Our admin team helps build the foundation. Our women's basketball alums, some of whom are here today and some others who are watching. This is your program, and the young women who wear this uniform represent all that you have done. Your visibility matters, your presence matters, so be around. To our donors and our corporate partners, your support reaches far beyond any scoreboard. And for the fans, this building is yours. There's nothing like being part of something special. There's nothing like being a part of a winning program. And this is the beginning, a new beginning, which is perfect time for everyone to be a part of it. Pittsburgh has always known and always recognized a winner. But now is the time for everyone to show up and be a part of one. It's going to take all of us, and all of us have something to gain. Robin Harmony not only understands this, but she believes it. She's excited, she's confident, she's ready to get to work, and she's ready for me to shut up. So please, join me in welcoming the next women's basketball coach of Pitt basketball, or next women's basketball coach for Pitt, Robin Harmony. The floor is yours.
I'm just going to use it.
You might read some of my stuff. I don't want you taking my material.
This guy's bossing me around already. Good afternoon. Again, good afternoon. Thank you all for being here for this support. It means the world. This athletic department, I figured out real quick, it's a family. It's not just a big team, but it's a family. I don't really get surprised very often, but I walked into this building and I was like, what? Are you kidding me? A couple words that I can't say right now, but you know what they are. It's just amazing, the Petersen Center, what it's like for all of us to recruit and win and draw the athletes that we need to get the job done in whatever sport is in here. And then by not getting surprised very often, when I came up here, you know, I usually can read people and know they're up to something. But with Jen, I did not know that she was going to fly down and pick us up on the private jet and be there. I thought we were just going to land and then see her when we got to campus, somebody pick us up at the jet. So surprise number one, this building. Surprise number two, her coming all that way just to get us. And then I started figuring it out when they were going around the block a few times stalling. And when we landed out in front and we came in with that reception, it was unbelievable. I didn't even know what to do, what to say. It was just, holy cows. And Alan and I then went up the escalator. I thought, oh, thank God it's over. No, it wasn't. I had to go to the second floor, by the food court, by, more cheers, more, applause, which was awesome. And yeah, I don't like this with my face up, because it's not about me. It's about us. We are. And it is not my team. It is their team. These guys are the ones that have eligibility. So, we just make them take ownership, so that does help us be successful. On Monday, I got text messages from every single head coach. And I was like, what is going on here? Texting, thanks, coach, good luck. We're here for you if you need us. And then the phone rings, and it's Pat Nardozzi. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Wait, I'll do it again. Narduzzi. How about that? Better? Okay, it's a football coach on the phone. I love football. Everybody knows I went to the University of Miami, and I know who I'm going to be rooting for when we play football. Trust me, right here, okay? But I was like a kid on the phone. I didn't know what to say. I was, Coach, you're really calling me? And I can't wait to meet him in person so he can give me his reaction of my phone call, because I was just, holy cows, a football coach from a major university is calling me? Ooh, I was touched. But it is a total team. It is a family. That's how you know it is. Just want to say thank you for the support, Chancellor Cable, Alan Green, our athletic director, our SWA executive athletic director, Jen T. You guys have been great hosting me, making me feel important, telling me that this is the job to take. I'm honored to lead Pitt women's basketball. And again, I can't do it by myself. I have to do it with great administration, with great assistants, and players who really want to play and play our style, where they're hungry, they're grit. We're going to push the ball down the floor. We're going to defend full court. We're going to shoot a lot of threes. We're going to take more shots than the opponent because we're going to D them up so bad. And we're going to hustle. And if we don't hustle, they're going to be hustling to the bench. So, it's just one of those things that's who I am. I am an old school coach. I can change a little bit, but I can't change on some of those things. You're here to do a job, do the job, but also have fun. So that's kind of the message that we told our athletes. I want to recruit great student athletes for the classroom, for the basketball court, so we can turn this program back into the success that it deserves to be. We're going to build on the tradition, because there was really good tradition here. You look at, we've had 2 Sweet 16 appearances, and that's big. There's 365 so schools in Division I. 16 of them are still playing basketball right now. And we at Pitt were that way for 2 seasons that we had back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances. So they did it then. Agnes Baronata and her staff, who was, a personal friend, pick her brain, see what it takes. Why can't we do it again? And we can do it again if we get everybody in this room to come support us, come to our games, because we need cheeks in the seats, okay? So you all got that. You're going to make sure you come and watch us. I want to just, Jim Phillips left me a message today. I was actually in the shower when he called, and he told me that ACC basketball is better when Pitt is better. So we're going to get better to make that ACC better. I want to introduce, just to say their name, and they'll probably just give a wave, my assistant coach, Greg Long. Known each other for 7 years. You don't got to clap for that guy. Don't worry about it. My associate head coach, Randy Snyder. We've been together 20 years. Randy is from Miami, but he has a little bit of the Keystone State in him, because he is tough. He's a great recruiter. He's loyal. And that's what we are in this room when we're from Pennsylvania. You know that. So we're going to adopt him and make him a PA person instead of a Miami, Florida person. But he is great. He does a lot of really good things to help us, and I wouldn't be successful without him. You already met my mom and my sister. I always tell my sister, Tony, that she is my favorite sister. She is my only sister, okay? So that was the easy one for me to do. Fern Labate in the front. Yeah, stand up, Fern. Come on now. Fern was the head coach at the University of Miami, 1992 Coach of the Year. She's a great mentor. Carol Sprague, who she was in the athletic department here at Pitt for 30 plus years. Come on, Carol, come on, just in case. Everybody, I think, knows Carol Sprague. If you don't know her, you know somebody who knows her. And that's just Pittsburgh. If I ever get pulled over by the police on campus, I'm gonna take my sunglasses off, put the window down, and say, "Hello, officer, do you know Carol Sprague?" Because if you do, I have a good chance of getting out of my ticket. And even if you don't know her, it's six degrees separation for sure. I would like to recognize the alumni that's in the room today. If I could get them to all stand. I don't want to call names because I don't want to forget anybody. So alumni, please give us a stand. Thank you guys. You guys are the ones that built this to where we are today. You should be really proud. And we're going to start winning and getting this going, so you'll come and say, yeah, this is us. But we know that you're loyal to us no matter what, and that's why you're here today, so thank you. I realize that Pitt is an avid sports town, but we need to get people to come watch us play. Our players deserve it. They'll thrive from it. So hopefully we can get everybody in this room to come to games. I don't think there's too much work getting done today, though, right now, because everybody's here and so many fans. But we need you guys to help us. We can't do this alone. I was told that a Pittsburgher, if you extend your hand and say, I need help, they'll help you back. So we need help. We need you to come to games. We need you to support us. We need you to cheer and, just be that to help us turn this program's history, tradition back to what it was, because it can be done and it will be done. So, help. I'm reaching out for you guys. We need you. And I know that when we do our sit-down one, you're going to ask me more questions about our style of play. But at the end of the day, it's working hard, it's having grit, teamwork, hustling, and representing the University of Pittsburgh. So, hail to Pitt. Let's get this done.
All right, if media have questions, you can go ahead and raise your hand. We'll get you a mic. We'll start with Abby here in the front row.
Abby Schnabel, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Robin, Alan said that they were looking for a builder. What does that mean to you, and how do you plan to attack that building mentality?
Well, my whole career, it's been starting a program at St. Thomas University as a head coach. And we didn't have women's basketball at the time. They brought back men's basketball, so they started up women's basketball. That was a 6-year stint. The first 2 years, we didn't have a gym. So that was something that we had to go out and practice, a place to play. We had to recruit a whole entire team, and we were successful, and I was very happy at the NAIA level. And then I went to Lamar, where Lamar was kind of towards the bottom. And when you're a Yankee, which we know what that is in this room, and you go to Texas, they don't really open the doors all the way for you. They sort of just maybe crack it just because they're nosy, Texas or Louisiana. So we just fought the fight and, got that program turned around. And then the last 3 years at Lamar, we did win and we were successful just because they finally let us into the state of Texas to recruit. And then from there, I went to Charleston, where Charleston was in last place. They were the doormat, beautiful to go there, city. But teams would come in on a Thursday night, play us on Friday, but sort of have a little vacation. We're coming out of the snow. We're going to be in beautiful Charleston with the beaches. And then they would stay, play Friday, whoop that team by 40, and then stay Saturday until it was time to go to the next spot to practice and then play on Sunday. And with that being successful, we just built that program. So this is what I've done. I've always built. And I've built it from the ground up where I didn't have all the resources, and now we're going to rebuild this with all these resources. So that's how I know we can get it done.
In the back here.
Hi, Robin. Ashley Leotis with WTAE Channel 4 here. I think Alan mentioned, you said 3 years was too far out to get back to the NCAA tournament. What's a realistic goal to set for this team to get back into contention for that tournament, and what's your plan to get there?
Well, I think that when I said 3 years, I kind of just laughed it off as a joke, but I don't like to lose. I'm a competitor, and the sooner that we can turn this program back to where it was and win would be great. Now with the transfer portal, it makes a really big difference if you can pull the right kids in and, you know, have success early. So it's sort of, it's just touch and go. I've seen it happen in other schools that we played against, that they got really good overnight because of the transfer portal, or because they recruited the right players who wanted to come and fit your system, and they work. So it could be 3 years, it could be 4 years, but it's going to get done in my time frame.
Second row.
Hey, Robin, Justin Guerrero with the Pittsburgh Tribune Review. If Wikipedia is to be believed, you turn 65 this fall. Maybe 65 years young is a better way to put it, but I'm just curious, at this stage of your career, what was it that made you want to take on this challenge and move up to the Power Four and take this job at Pitt?
Well, I don't think it's like it used to be when you talk about age. I think you act your age, you feel your age. I don't think I look my age, but I just think that's a number. And I know that myself and my staff will outwork anybody that's maybe your age. You know, it's just the determination of how bad you want it. And, you know, if you do hate to lose more than you love to win, you're going to work until it gets done. And I don't really think age is an issue. If it was, you see now they're starting to hire a couple older coaches. Maybe age is something that's going to help get the program where it needs to be, because you have the experience, you have the success before, and sitting in that seat makes a big difference, and it could make it go faster.
Back to the second row here.
Jim Ham at PantherLair.com. You kind of cited a little bit about your playing style of, you know, up-tempo, shooting threes, that kind of thing. How do you find that, how quickly that can be, I guess, applied?
Well, I think that when you take over a job and you don't have the transfer portal, you have to be patient and wait until you get the players that can run your style. Now with what we have returning from last year's team to what we recruit in the future, that it can happen a lot quicker. You know, there was times when I took over at Lamar where you had your team, or maybe you recruited 1 or 2 players, and that's not really enough to help you turn it. But it just is, it matters how well we do in the portal and see what happens. But it's just a numbers game now of how lucky you are, how good you are. I know that when we bring somebody to this campus, it's going to be really hard for them to say no.
In the front.
Stephen Thompson with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. You mentioned your relationship with Agnes Baronato. When did that relationship start, and what has it meant to you?
Oh, it's been a long time. So I've known her when, I want to say I was an assistant at Fairleigh Dickinson working with Coach Labate. And it's been 30 years. 30 years. If you know Agnes, Agnes has a great personality. She has a lot of energy. I still talk to her, you know, once a month. I still take her advice when we go down to the Keys. Because she has a place down there with some of my friends, and you know, if you know Agnes, she's never met a stranger, and she's welcoming everybody into her arms.
If I could follow up really quickly, what did she tell you about Pitt?
Oh, nothing but good, nothing but good. I think that if she had her druthers, she would want to be the coach, but you know, that's a compliment to everything that she's experienced at Pitt, and she knows what Pitt has to offer.
Second row.
Hi, Robin. Dominic Campbell with Pittsburgh Panthers on SI. How have you dealt with the transfer portal, I guess, during your time at Charleston? How do you think you've been able to adapt to the changing college sports landscape?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. The kids now are going to go in that portal. I was fortunate at Charleston to have players that played for me and they stayed and they finished their career. But that's also maybe luck, culture. You know, they know that they had that role that they wanted to stay in. But, you know, we try not to recruit too many people out of the transfer portal who've been to multiple schools because I wish they would change it and just have one-time transfer. But, you know, that transfer portal is going to make teams good, and they're also going to take a really good team and make them not so good if your wrong players leave.
Third row.
Jeff Hathorn, KDK Radio. Robin, congratulations. Alan, I wanted to ask you if you might expand on some of your opening remarks of as you were talking to Robin, when it really hit you that this was the person to lead the program?
Yeah, so part of what we do in the process is evaluate lots of candidates. I would say there were several who caught our attention. Robin, as I'd mentioned in a tweet that I'd sent out about her authenticity, and as you all can tell, she's incredibly authentic. She's incredibly straightforward and very pragmatic and has lots of passion and belief in herself. And watching, actually, of course, I didn't tell you this, but in watching some of the interviews, particularly down the stretch, I think is important to see how they handle success, to see how they handle adversity, and she fits what we need right now. And I think someone had asked a question about age, and I think less about age and more about experience. And having gone through and seen lots of different types of teams, having had lots of different types of seasons, those are all attributes that are going to be very beneficial to us.
Any more questions from the media? We will have time for Coach Harmony to do some media scrum here after.
More questions.
All good? All right, well, thank you, Coach. Thank you, Alan. We'll have Coach to the side for media and the reception for everyone else that's here.
Thank you all for being here. Hail to Pitt.